Hey there, this is Sally's Book Talk, bringing you global literary gems every single day. Today we're exploring the second part of Rousseau's masterpiece, Emile, by the renowned French Enlightenment thinker. In our previous episode, we covered Rousseau's naturalist education philosophy for ages 0 to 2, 2 to 12, 12 to 15, and adolescent emotional development. Now we'll dive deeper into more profound educational dimensions in the second part. What ultimate life principles should a free person hold? What constitutes ideal love? How should one relate to their nation and society? How to recover from life's hardest blows? How would Rousseau educate Emile on these matters? This content reveals deeper aspects of Rousseau's educational philosophy and core Enlightenment ideals. Rousseau considered his social contract as Emile's sequel, both essential for understanding his philosophy. We'll explore four key themes. 1. Life's meaning, Emile's beliefs and their foundations. 2. Romantic education, the nature of ideal love. 3. Civic education, optimal socio-political systems for Emile. 4. Resilience education, recovering from major setbacks. Let's begin with our first theme, the ultimate meaning of life. Emile's belief system. Why does Rousseau emphasize faith here? Faith provides spiritual grounding and ultimate meaning for human actions. At 15, Emile possesses compassion, universal love, justice, intellectual curiosity, and practical skills. Physically strong, rational, unbiased, and multi-skilled. Does this seem perfect to you? But humans inevitably confront existential questions. Who am I? What is the universe? Where do I stand in the cosmos? What gives life meaning? Where are the answers? They lie in faith. Even Newton believed God set the cosmos in motion. For centuries, Europeans believed in God as the absolute source of love and creation. During the Enlightenment, many thinkers rejected divine existence, viewing reason and conscience as life's ultimate foundation. Though Rousseau criticized religious prejudices in Emile, he paradoxically used a priest character to argue for God's existence through cosmic order. Whatever this governing force is, let's call it God. Rousseau's concept of divinity significantly differs from Catholic doctrine. First, Catholicism teaches original sin requiring Christ's redemption, while Rousseau does man pursue truth and virtue or succumb to base desires and evil? Human free will, God's gift, makes us accountable for our choices. Rousseau elevates humanity as second only to God, possessing immortal souls. In this cosmic hierarchy, the noblest beings wield free will. Therefore, moral responsibility gives courage to uphold conscience and find fulfillment through virtue. But if virtue goes unrewarded, why choose goodness? Rousseau believes virtue's intrinsic value justifies moral action regardless of outcomes. Must faith require deity worship? Clearly not. Rousseau opposes punishing non-believers unless they willfully reject truth. True faith requires personal understanding. Mindlessly parroting religious doctrines equals blind faith. With Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and countless denominations, which should Emile choose? Rousseau's solution: let him rationally choose without sectarian pressure. Clearly, Rousseau approaches faith with Enlightenment rationality, advocating free choice through reason. Blind religious adherence would make Emile a slave to dogma, in Rousseau's view. Any action aligning with conscience and natural law carries ultimate value worthy of belief. Such principles become our true faith through moral congruence. Now, understanding cosmic order and belief foundations, Emile encounters love's awakening. What constitutes ideal love between genders according to Rousseau? Let's explore our second theme, gender relations and romantic education. Here we examine Rousseau's views on feminine education and egalitarian love principles. Rousseau emphasizes individual freedom and equality in romantic relationships. His gender education theory positions feminine roles relative to masculine counterparts. Natural attraction compels men to respect women, transforming desire into moral courtship. What partner suits Emile's natural disposition? Rousseau observes feminine strength in leveraging natural traits to balance masculine power. He vehemently opposes educating women as male clones. Forcing masculine qualities on women destroys their inherent virtues, warns Rousseau. Harmonious love requires embracing natural gender differences while pursuing mutual happiness. Lasting love demands cultivation of complementary virtues from both partners. Rousseau sets high standards for male commitment in relationships. How can a man claim true love unwilling to sacrifice for his beloved? Challenges Rousseau. True harmony emerges when both partners mutually submit as equals. Rousseau's narrative of Emile meeting Sophie critiques materialistic courtship norms. Emile's noble lineage becomes an obstacle rather than advantage in their romance. True love should transcend monetary influences. Maintaining natural integrity is essential for free-spirited individuals. Rousseau actually advocates compatibility too, but through spiritual alignment rather than material status. Rousseau's core views on love: gender-specific education preserves natural traits, mutual respect sustains marriage, and unions should align with human nature. Um, as Emile and Sophie's relationship deepens, marriage seems imminent. But Rousseau insists Emile temporarily leave Sophie. Becoming worthy husband requires first becoming responsible citizen. What civic education does Rousseau prescribe? This brings us to our third theme. Previously, we discussed humanity's social nature arising from mutual needs. Rousseau believes societies form through collaborative necessity, the foundation of nations. We pay taxes, enjoy rights, and fulfill obligations as citizens. But how are states truly built? Beyond taxation, what defines citizen-state relations? Rousseau considers civic education crucial to natural development. Emile must understand society before starting family. Thus, Emile postpones marriage to travel, studying various governments and civic responsibilities. This journey raises fundamental questions. Are we born free or enslaved? Are humans naturally united or independent? Voluntary or forced unions? Can rights be absolutely surrendered? After examination, Rousseau concludes, we're born free and equal, but require social structures for protection. Free and equal individuals must unite through collective agreement to safeguard their liberty, this very freedom and equality. But how to achieve this union? Rousseau proposes his social contract theory. Individuals surrender property and autonomy to form collective consciousness. This collective will creates sovereign political entity, the nation-state, with citizens forming its body politic. Individual participants become citizens under this covenant. The contract establishes mutual obligations between each individual and the community. Since sovereign power acts through general will, its laws serve common welfare. Thus, obeying collective interest means obeying one's higher self. Rousseau argues this social contract better protects freedom than natural state through equitable rights. Transition from natural being to citizen doesn't diminish freedom, but enhances it. Without social structures, property and liberty remain vulnerable to violation. Others could easily infringe upon them. Through collective covenant, community equally safeguards members' possessions and freedoms. Law-bound protection under general will creates ideal security for civil liberties. Rousseau acknowledges governing intermediaries, administrators or monarchs, between citizens and sovereignty. These executives enforce laws and protect freedoms through administration. But first, intermediaries develop self-serving personal agendas. Second, they form factional group interests. These factional interests, modern special interest groups, prioritize ruling elites' benefits. When particular wills conflict with general will, how to resolve? Rousseau rejects parliamentary systems, advocating direct citizen decision-making democracy. In reality, Rousseau's framework didn't adequately resolve this critical issue. Unresolved, private interests could masquerade as public will, leading to authoritarian regimes. This became the tragic trap of French Revolution, exemplified by Robespierre's Reign of Terror. Post-revolution analyses frequently critique Rousseau's general will concept. Rousseau argues adults may void social contracts and leave nations deemed unsuitable. These constitute Rousseau's core civic education principles. These insights emerged through lived experience, not academic isolation. Rousseau's social contract creates communal will without sacrificing individual freedom. Natural beings become virtuous citizens while retaining autonomy. Now deemed mature, Emile must assume familial responsibilities. As settled citizens, Emile and Sophie marry, but will happiness follow? The book concludes with crucial resilience education, how to recover from life's devastating blows. Recall childhood exposure to manageable hardships builds resilience. Early pain prepares children for adult adversities. Rousseau tests Emile with catastrophic loss in the final chapter. The main narrative concludes with their marriage. This completes Emile's educational journey. Yet, Rousseau adds an epilogue revealing post-wedding tragedies. Tragically, Sophie loses parents and their infant daughter within months. Emile brings Sophie to Paris seeking solace, but Paris's decadence corrupted Emile's love for Sophie, driving them apart and leading to her grave mistake. Pregnant with another's child, Emile faces devastating betrayal. Through the agony, his childhood education's resilience surfaces. Beyond marriage, his conscience, faith, and reason retain value. Slowly, rationality reclaims his being. Though Sophie carries another's child, Emile rebuilds life anew. Reborn through metaphorical death, he revives childhood craftsmanship. Emile wanders seas and deserts, shedding citizenship for global identity. Even enslaved by pirates, his core education sustains him. Chains can't shackle memories and conscience forged through natural education. Fate reunites them at a monastery island where Sophie seeks penance. Sophie's sincere repentance restores her true self. Emile forgives her unintended transgression. Their fairy tale ending persists, prince and princess reunited. But like mountains regained after losing innocence, their wisdom differs. Post-cataclysm, freedom and virtue hold deeper meaning than youthful idealism. Thus unfolds Rousseau's naturalist pedagogy nurturing inherent human nature. We've explored faith, civic duty, and love through this educational journey. Emile remains revolutionary, advocating experiential learning over rote memorization. His principles, child-led exploration, nature-based learning, still inspire modern pedagogy. Rousseau's methods align perfectly with modern child-centered, project-based, and experiential learning approaches, arguably with deeper insight. His emphasis on resilience, gender-specific, civic, and faith education remains profoundly relevant today. Emile stands as a seminal work, though Rousseau's 1712 born ideas, like anti-medical stance and civilizational pessimism, remain controversial. His gender perspectives warrant critical examination, yet engaging classics means extracting methodological wisdom rather than wholesale acceptance. Rousseau possessed genius-level understanding of human psychology's intricate layers. His literary brilliance makes every page sparkle with pearl-like insights. And so we conclude our journey through Emile. Detailed notes await below. Thank you for listening.